Hello everyone. Today's lecture I am going to discuss about a poem named The Morning Song. And this poem is written by Sylvia Plath, who was an American poet, novelist and short storyteller. So Sylvia Plath was born in 1932 in Boston, United States, and she died in 1963 in United Kingdom, London to be more exact. So her husband's name is Ted Hughes, who was also a British poet, and her marriage to Ted was consummated by the birth of their two children. And her first daughter's name is Freda Hughes, and another one is Nicholas Hughes. So Plath gave her birth to her daughter Freda Hughes on April 1st, 1916. So the poem Morning Song was written in the very next year, 1961. So it can be said this poem is an autobiographical poem. So this poem is written in free verse. So let's get started. So Morning Song depicts a new mother's emotions about motherhood. So this poem we will be able to see that how a new mother feels about her newborn baby. When a mother sees her new infant, how she feels and how her mind changes whenever she sees her baby. What actually she feels we will be able to see and realize by this poem. So it's time to start the poem. The poem's first word, love, is what we could often associate it with the bond between mother and baby. So here the first line is, love set you going like a fat gold watch. So here, fat gold watch, that doesn't mean that a watch with fat gold. Not that, actually it is a metaphor, which means the importance of the baby. Perhaps the baby was born as healthy, that's why the poet says that fat gold watch. That means she actually wanted to mention the importance of the baby. The next line, the poet says that the midwife slapped your foot soles, and your wild cry took its place among the elements. So, who is midwife? So, midwife can be said as nurses who actually assist to a woman in childbirth. That's it. So this is an event whenever we see that when a woman actually gives birth to her child, when a child just newborn, that time the midwife or the nurses uses to slap on the baby's backside or in foot soles to make the baby cry. So here the poet actually wanted to represent these kinds of incident. So in the next stanza, the poet says that our voices echo, magnifying your arrival, new statue. Here, new statue. This is also a metaphor. So here, our voices echo. That means lots of peoples are talking about the baby and they are looking like magnifying glasses. We always used to watch in a magnifying glasses to watch anything or something very carefully and very zoom. So that's why we always used to watch magnifying glasses. But here the poet actually uses and wanted to say that our voices echo, magnifying your arrival, that new statue. That means the baby is laying on her bed and everyone is talking about the baby and they are watching very carefully to the baby and zoomer. Okay, so this scene was flourished above by these lines. So very next line, the poet says that in a drafty museum, your nakedness shadows our safety, we stand round blankly as walls. So here blankly means straightly or literally. That means the second stanza's incident is like what? The baby is laying on her bed and lots of people they are standing straightly and they are watching the baby and very carefully and everyone is talking among them and it has been, it sounds like echo sounds. So this moment is very special for a mother whenever she sees that everyone is talking among them about her baby. The baby looks like an angel, and everyone is very happy to and very glad to see the new baby. So these kind of feelings makes a mom very happier. So, in the next line, the poet says that I am no more your mother. I am no more your mother. So, this line is an allusion. This is an ironical line. In the very next line, the poet says that then the cloud that distills a mirror to reflect its own slow effacement at the wind's hand. So these lines are allusion. So these lines alludes to Shakespeare's play Hamlet. So here, actually, the poet wanted to say and wanted to tell us that she is not now in her control. Actually, she is like she is like cloud, actually, which was controlled by the wind. So here, the mom, she is not actually in her control now, and her new baby just born, and she is not now free. Actually, she wanted to say that she's like vehicles now. She's just like a vehicles or just like a clouds, which is not in her control at all. In the next stanza, the poet says that all night your moth breath flickers among the flat pink roses. I wake to listen, a Farsi moves in my ear. So here actually moth breath means soft breath or little breaths. We usually say is that a baby takes moth breath or soft breath like little breaths. Okay, and flickers means glimmers, glitters or shining. So here the event is like that. We usually say that when a baby is sleeping, we will be able to see that the lips of the baby is very red and it seems like it is glittering, it is shining. Okay, and when a baby is sleeping, her mouth breath and everything seems like very amazing. This scenario actually, to be honest, to a mother, this scene is the best scene. This scene is the best scene when a mother sees her baby sleeping and she is watching carefully to her baby, that she always impresses to see her baby, and she's always excited and always curious to see her baby. Okay, her red lips and her mouth breaths, everything that surprises the mom. Okay, so in the very next line, the poet says that one cry, I stumbled from bed, cow heavy and floral in my Victorian nightgown. So here actually the poet wanted to say that whenever the baby is crying, she actually stumbles from the bed. And here the poet mentioned that cow heavy and floral in my Victorian nightgown. So here she stumbles from bed to take care of her baby, and doing so is both heavy notion and one that is so natural that is reflected on the floral quality. Okay, so that's why she said that cow heavy and floral in my nightgown, Victorian nightgown. So in the next line, the poet says, your mouth opens, clean as cat's. The window is square, quietens and swallows its dull stars. So this line is a personification which was personified by as white as with the morning. In the very next line, the poet says, and now you try your handful of notes. So here, actually, I think the dull stars refers to child's upcoming life, and these lines the poet actually wanted to tell us or mention us that she is watching her reflection to her baby. Okay, and by dull stars, she actually wanted to tell us that she maybe here dull stars refers to baby's upcoming life or future life. Okay, so in the very next line, the poet says that the clear bubbles rises like balloons. So We all know that balloons is a symbol of happiness or playfulness of the kids. So here, actually, the poet is a mother, new mother, and whenever she says that her baby is playing with balloons, her playfulness, her lightness, and these kind of feelings makes the mother very glad, very pleasurable, and very much satisfied, and she always feels very amazing to watch her babies play. So this was the poem, and this poem was totally different from all other poems. So no more today. Inshallah, see you soon in my next lecture. Allah Hafiz.